NCAA championships, 5 Hall of Fame coaches, and countless All-Americans. Next, why Kentuckiana is home to the teams of the century.
I'm proud of what my heritage accomplished.
Images burning in our mind. They come from the Ku Klux Klan, an organization synonymous with controversy. For supporters, the Klan represents white power. For protesters, it represents hatred.
We don't believe in no white power, black power. We believe in America.
This weekend, the Klan holds 3 rallies in our area. Tonight, go inside this organization with someone who's been there and see how Kentuckiana braces for the tension that's inevitable.
Come on, Joe. Come on around there.
In Sherman Perry's yard, they were putting summer into storage for the winter. It's an October ritual around Mount Eden, 5 generations of the Perry family gathering for a week of making the sweetest product of Kentucky soil, sorghum molasses. Mr. Perry grows an acre of old-fashioned sorghum cane, and when the tops turn orange, the cane comes down. The leaves are stripped, heads are chopped, and the cane fed into a 100-year-old sorghum mill operated by an 8-year-old Belgian horse named Toad.
Come on, Toad.
All the squeezings of summer juices are collected and poured into a boiler set over a blazing wood fire. The skimmers are almost lost in the clouds of steam. When it's not too thin and not too thick, it's molasses. Thus, the week between harvest time and tobacco stripping time is turned into the sweet, slow days of sorghum. No matter how cold the coming winter, there'll be jars full of summer sunshine.
It's not a very big piece. Oh.
Feed me a piece. Feed me a piece.
Big piece. I just got out of the Navy and I saw her at a basketball game. And I said, who is that girl? And I knew her brother, see, but I knew he had 3 sisters, but I didn't know him. And I said, well, that's Kathleen Reeves. I said, I know. I'll have to check into that a little bit later. So I did. Checked out pretty good. So we started going together. And I said, man, I tell you, I think this is a girl for me. I didn't even kiss her on the first date. And she's kind of disappointed on that. And I didn't do it on purpose. I just didn't happen to. But when I did, I thought, oh, this is it, man. This is it. This is the gal I've been looking for. And so I asked her to marry me. And she said, well, no, not right now, or something like that, you know.
He asked me to marry him. We'd only been going together 2 months. And I knew I wanted to marry him, but I thought, what will people say? They haven't been going together very long, you know. I was worried about what other people would say. And that's why I put him off a little while. So I knew I wanted to marry him, but I thought it was too soon.
I thought, boy, what's the heck wrong here now? I don't think she feels that way. She don't sound too convincing. So I waited a while, and I thought I'll give her another chance. So I asked her again, and she said yes. And I thought, oh, that's better now. I was going to get drafted, and I joined the Navy.
When the bombing at Pearl Harbor, we evidently didn't have the radio on or didn't know anything about it until church that night. We were at Sunday night service, and the minister told about Pearl Harbor. That was the first. And there was a couple local boys that were in the Navy at the time, and we were all concerned about them, where they were at that time. Bill is 6 years older than I am, so he was out of high school before I started. But his brother was 1 year ahead of me, and I knew he had a brother. I knew he was in the Navy because back then there was pictures in the Card Democrat, and I cut them all out and had a scrapbook with all the guys that was in service.
At that time, they were just taking about all the company. I don't know how many's in the company, but it was taking, say, 50. And they'd take 49 of them up for corpsman. They'd take them all. So corpsman, corpsman, corpsman. And that just suited me because that's what I wanted to be. But I was lucky enough to get duty on board ship. And that's what I wrote. I wrote it out through the war, that one ship, Saratoga. It's an old carrier. But it was a big son of a gun. Biggest thing I ever saw at the time. I was on Fiji Island. It pulled in there. Man, I said, that's a big ship. And we was just there. Wasn't doing anything, going swimming and having a good time. And so I ended up, they said, get your cleaned up, you know, get your white hat on and all that stuff, and line up out here. That the senior medical officers coming over to look at you guys. There was, I think, 12 of us all together lined up there. And he came by, and of course, you wanted to look as good as you could and act as good as you could. And he took about 6 of us, I think, on board. And we stayed on there and rode it out till the end of the war. She probably gets sick of hearing that because I've got shirts and caps and everything with USS Saratoga on it, and a big picture up in the den out there of it. It doesn't mean anything. It means a lot to me.
I am so happy that you took me into the family and made me feel very part of it.
Come in here again. Yeah. He gave up, I know.
And you old red devil bulldog is going to take you.
We all have so much in this country, everything, really. We don't know how lucky we are. We'll go to some of the other countries. That money don't do you any good. It really doesn't. People worry so much about money. Money don't amount to nothing if you had a whole pocket full of it.
Oops, there goes another problem curve.